I am here with my friend and amazing collaborator, amazing composer, Mara Gibson. I am so thrilled that we are doing a Fri-YAY together. This is amazing. So, because Mara does a lot of cross-disciplinary collaboration, that's what I wanted to ask her about today. So I'm so glad that you all are joining us, and we're going to talk about cross-disciplinary collaboration. Mara, yes. You've done a lot of this, but I wanted to ask you, basically, just kind of start with when you first started doing cross-disciplinary collaborations, how did you even know that that was a thing, something that you could do? Like, did you feel that it was really natural, or did you kind of go like, oh, maybe I should do this with somebody else?
That's such a great question. I think that it was probably more of the natural. It felt really normal for me to do that because I've always been inspired by poetry and visual art, natural ecological phenomenon. Yeah. These are always the things that inform my music. And so it came pretty naturally. I mean, I started with visual art and then kind of, and poetry, and then branched off into electronics and video. Yeah. And I've had a couple of really wonderful collaborations with Caitlin Horsman, who's a fantastic video artist, also a bassoonist. Oh, which is awesome. Fantastic to work with somebody who has that, that musical sensibility as well. And I think the biggest thing that defines what I do in collaboration is that I'm not interested in creating a synchronous event necessarily.
Oh, yeah, that's really important.
I'm interested in creating a counterpoint between the two media. Yeah. And it's very fun and exciting for me because, of course, I love counterpoint in the musical sense. So the more I can project it on all of the other senses, the better.
You're like just counterpoint in all forms.
Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of power to the image and how we process that. And I think it's very different than music. In part because when we're going to a concert, we go and we sit. Mm-hmm. We can't walk around. We can't
not usually, right?
Not usually. Now, I mean, I developed a series that did exactly that, and I look forward to many more. But it's really all about the counterpoint.
I love it. I love it. Well, one of the things that you mentioned in there was about being really powerful, but also you had mentioned that with your bassoonist and video colleague, that there was a quality of having that musical shared language.
Yes.
I was wondering if, for anybody who is just kind of trying this out for the first time, what types of things, like nuts and bolts, would you say about creating shared language?
That's such a great question.
I'm like, no, really tell me, because I want to know.
Well, I mean, I think some of it can happen with the artist or with the collaborator, and it really depends on what kind of collaboration you want to create. So if you want to create something that is inspired by the art, that's one thing, or poetry or whatever. If you want to create something that is the flip, the other way around, that's another something. You know, I've done a lot with dance, and it amazes me how quickly dancers learn.
Yeah. Oh my God,
I
right?
mean,
it's
like,
nuts.
It is insane, even for very proficient musicians who are used to sight reading, at the drop of a hat. It just blows me away how they memorize the movements, and they really internalize it. Yeah. So those are two ways that you can work. The third way is if you take something and create it from scratch. So one of my favorite collaborations was the Blackbird Project. And that involved video, dance, and music. So we had all three things going on. And the piece can actually be performed just as music, or it can be performed just as video, with video, or just as a concert piece. Yeah. But I think it's best when you have all three that are happening simultaneously.
Because it was kind of like the fullest version of the vision, right?
Sure. And we had a poem that inspired us. So we had an anchor. Yeah. It wasn't like, we were just like coming at it. You know, and we had a big map.
Hard, right? At the beginning, especially if you feel like you want to do something together. And I think a lot of people see this and they go like, or think about cross-disciplinary collaboration. They know they want to work with somebody, and they go like, I really like what you do. And the other person's like, I love what you do. And then you go, but like, how do we interface, or what do we want to create together? So I love that you outlined these kind of like ways of going about it.
Well, and mapping is a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we all map in our own different ways. I mean, for
Yeah.
me, I'm a very visual person when I'm conceiving of things and concepts. And I've even been described as being a sculptural composer, you know, because
That's
I like
cool.
to carve sound out,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and create that space, like in the vein of Morton Feldman or something like that. You know, I mean, that's important to me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I have one more question for you about this, which is, have you had experiences? I know that you've worked with people that you'd already known in a lot of these cases. Have you had ones where you knew of their work, or you were looking for a specific type of artist, and then you reached out to them and you said, can we do that? What did that like email look like?
Yeah.
Is what I want to know.
That's a great question. So when Michael and I collaborated on Canopy, we got no response from the artist.
Oh no.
And we really wanted to interact with Roxy Payne, but I mean, he just, I guess, is sort of a hermit and wasn't into it. And we thought, well, we're doing this major unveiling of the 60-foot sculpture outdoors.
This is Canopy is a beautiful sculpture that's part of the Nelson Atkins in Kansas City, and it's large. I would personally describe it as kind of like a large tree-looking chrome sculpture.
Yeah.
So, but without to put anybody's too specific point on it. Continue.
Yeah, but he, you know, he was coming in for the unveiling of the sculpture, and so we thought, you know, wouldn't it be great if we got some feedback and some interaction from him, and just nothing, and then he didn't even come.
Oh no!
And this was the commissioned piece for the unveiling of this sculpture. You know,
Can I just point out that sometimes it's like that. Like sometimes it just doesn't work out. You know, sometimes they just don't come. Like sometimes, you know.
Well, and a more recent example is I'm doing a piece right now for the Vermilion duet, Thomas Kim and Melody Wong, and they're great. Thomas is actually quite an accomplished composer as well. But it's inspired by the paintings and artwork of a good friend of mine by the name of Ann Austin Pierce, who's now in California. And I have been like gaga over her artwork for years. We've been saying for years, well, we just need to work together.
Oh, yeah.
And so it just finally happened. And so our process is I chose one of her paintings I really felt an affinity for.
Yeah.
I'm writing this piece, and then she's going to make a piece as a response.
Oh, that's very cool.
And then we're going to see what's next. Then maybe we'll come together and do something that's a little bit more collaborative. But it really takes a unique person to be willing to be vulnerable in that way, because you are, and you have to be.
Well, and picking up on what you said about being vulnerable with that is being vulnerable with the direction that your art's going to go together.
Right.
And I really like what you said about with you and Anne, that you have to be able to say, we're going to start this way and then just see where it goes.
See where it goes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think, so that's my advice for this Fri-YAY is also like, just start, ask somebody and see where it goes. And then maybe you'll be doing a Fri-YAY. So as part of Fri-YAYs, we always say, stay sparkly, inside and out. Mara, thank you so much for doing this with
Thanks
me.
for
I appreciate
having me.
you so much.